Good evening, mortals!
Bastard.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very different stream than we normally do. This is normally Exalted Night, but game over. We won. Well,
Done.
collectively, we won. Hello, everyone. Hey, Scald. Hey, T. Aki. Hello. Oh, hey, you guys can be in the chat if you want. You don't have to avoid it because.
Why would I be in Roll20 right now?
Oh.
Did you just log into Roll20? I promise you, there's nothing in there that will help you, Aki.
Hope springs eternal.
Oh shit, Echo.
However,
Sorry.
That's so fine.
However, there would also potentially be some chat history, which we could reference in wondering some stuff.
Yeah, if you there won't be any chat history. That's not how Twitch works. But like, feel free to peruse.
Oh no, the chat history in Roll20.
Oh, yeah, I guess go ahead. Aki, I'm not respecting what you just said. 6 more months are good. Absolutely not.
I had to try. It was requested.
Fair enough. Feel free to.
Mr. Cashew.
God damn it! I've been here for 2 seconds. I'm already getting harassed. You guys can have infinite blue booking. Go right ahead. All of your blue booking is officially non-canon. So let's talk about how this is going to work. So, Pattern Spiders, thank you for sticking with us this long. You guys are awesome. Thank you to my players. You guys, Solars and other, were awesome.
Yay, that's me.
Wife is other. Yeah, it was a good campaign. I'm actually pretty pleased with how it turned out. There was some things I wish I could have done differently, and so on and so forth. But I think all in all, it worked out, which is great. So yeah, thank you everyone for being here with me. Oh, I forgot. I should probably introduce the people that are here with me, right?
I guess.
So, first, foremost, most beautiful and bestest is my dearest wife, Amiha, who played Nora Applewood.
Yo, that's me, bro.
And she
I'm his
is
best princess.
not at all
Yo,
like her
bro.
character. Hey, dear. I love you and all that. I'm also joined by Aki, twitch.tv/AkishaVG,
What up?
who played Mercy, the Zenith cast Exile.
Yeah.
Hello, Aki. Long time no talk. When was the last time
Yep.
we streamed together? Like 2004?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, damn. I'm joined by Sam, codename secretly knew what was going to happen this whole time, who played Joaquin, the Twilight cast. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
You're a real trooper.
Oh, thanks.
We're also joined by Witch, who played
Sup?
Ben the Dawn. Hello, Witch.
Yep. Hello.
How
I enjoyed playing the himbo.
you did it very well. Ben was probably one of my more favorite characters. Like, everyone was good in their own way, but it was nice having the himbo character to kind of break up the seriousness a little. I'm also, right after that compliment, joined by Sue Crown, who can you talk? No, he can't. Who's currently doing the bus thing. And also in the chat, we have Scald, who played, Sue Crown played the, I want to say Eclipse cast, but I always get him and Scald mixed up. And Scald played the Night cast, if I'm correct.
Yes.
So anyway, they're here too. Thank you guys for being here. But yeah, the way this is going to work, super casually, I have a list of questions to ask of the players. The players have been discussing some questions to ask me. This is an open book stream. Everything that happened or was planned to happen or got dropped in this campaign is open for discussion if people want to talk about, why this plot line happened like this, or did you just forget about this, or Jordan, I don't like how your head looks. Feel free to ask. In that last one, I will cry visibly on stream, so maybe not that last one, but anyway.
Isn't that how you make money, though?
No,
Or is it
Aki
just when
crying on
Aki
stream.
cries? Okay.
Yeah, it's Aki crying on stream that makes us money, which is the real goal of Twitch, of course.
Which
Of
course.
which definitely won't happen tonight because I'm already feeling feelings from the end of the campaign.
Oh, good. No, Scald, I actually didn't grow up as a marble. I adopted that lifestyle after I was already an adult. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of like talk to you guys in the. Oh, hey, Desu, good to see you. This is the weirdest stream to come into our Exalted campaign because it's the last one. Very, very basically, I'm gonna bring up topics and we're just gonna discuss them about the campaign and what happened. How's everyone doing?
I am folding laundry.
Is there
I'm
people
moving
in that
curry.
laundry?
Not presently.
Oh, okay. And wife is eating curry. Appreciate you, wife. Wife literally just got home, grabbed dinner, and got on Discord to do this. So like, thanks, babe. Love you.
Oh, I can eat chips if you want.
No, that's okay. You don't need to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't quite hear you there.
Okay, I'm done my curry now. All gone.
Thank you, dear.
Lulu.
Wife is like, curry. Okay, done.
So, for those just joining at the very last stream of our entire campaign,
I was hungry.
we played Exalted in a modern setting in which I threw every World of Darkness game line at the wall to see what stuck, and it was a bit of a trip. The campaign was actually... Oh, hang on a sec. The campaign was actually a Princess the Hopeful campaign, which doesn't sound World of Darkness, but is straight up the most World of Darkness. There we go.
Can I cut in really quickly? I have a super, super important question.
Okay.
Is the cat being fat right now?
Yeah, she's tricking you. Oh my god.
Okay.
The mood lighting makes it very red for me. I don't know if you guys could see it on stream. I guess you could see it in my eyes. But it's like, it immediately changes the mood for me.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Need
Desi.
bear noises now.
No bear noises.
Wah!
Do not. Anyway, what was I going to talk about? Right, so, yeah, we played we played a princess game as Exalts, and it went actually pretty good, as far as I can tell. I mean, this is kind of my, like, here's where the players get to absolutely lambast me for the choices I made, so we'll see. But I feel like it went pretty good. So, first thing I'm gonna ask the players, guys, how was playing Exalted?
I loved being a princess.
How was playing Exalted? Wife's like, fuck that, princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicks open door. Princess.
I mean, princess is kind of like Exalted light. It's so close thematically that I successfully convinced you guys for a full act that there were already Exalts on Earth.
Exalted Junior.
Yeah, literally.
Exalted wish version.
Oh.
Exalted Child Soldiers.
Excuse me, you love Princess Kim. Shut the fuck up.
That's okay. I do. Aki.
So,
Yes, Aki.
overall, how would you guys say the campaign went?
Really well, actually.
I
enjoyed
really liked it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Some storylines didn't quite make sense.
Oh, don't
and they were
worry.
like-
I have an entire line dedicated to Doggant.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about when you say that.
Weird
I don't
stuff.
have a webcam, but I'm absolutely squinting at the stream right now for fucking dogging.
Oh fuck.
I actually really like metaphysical fuckery like that. So that was one of my favorite episodes.
Cool. We'll discuss that later on, but yeah. Okay. Well, glad everyone had a pretty good time. I will mention to the pattern spiders that I introduced a new chat reward. So if you were a channel point redemption. There we go. I got there.
POV, you're watching Jordan have a stroke on stream.
Fuck you, Aki. All right. But it's ask a question. It's super cheap, and feel free to use it if you'd like. Desu says I like that POV. Desu's immediately picked up the vibe we go for here at Not a Vampire's channel. It's rip on the streamer.
Smooches.
Skald says that Exalted was a completely new system for him, which was tough to get. And yeah, it is. Exalted is a very complicated game. The third edition, which is what we were playing, was a lot easier to understand and manage. Like, it's not even close, and it's still kind of a lot to process.
Yeah. If I may, Jordan.
Yeah.
So I came into this as not a veteran player of Exalted, obviously not, but as somebody who has played Exalted twice before, even if they
I would
ended
say
up,
1.5.
Yeah, like 1.5, but sure, whatever. But still, Exalted does have a little special place in my heart for specifically the stunting system. Because I absolutely love incorporating it into other games, because I like a actual reward for good roleplay, for helping flesh out the scene, for helping do really cool things, and driving roleplay instead of just I punched the guy. So it will always have like a little special place in my heart for that. So.
Between that and Scion, I widely disagree with you or agree with you on that. Sorry, not disagree. You're correct.
I was like, yeah, Jordan's just like immediately like Aki opens her mouth and then just like Jordan is like, I disagree.
Yeah, Aki's just like, hey, so I really like this innovative stunt system. And I'm like, Aki, you're dumb and your opinion is wrong. Shut up. I invited you to the stream specifically to tell you to stop talking.
For those who don't, who just joined our stream and everything, the stunt system was a basically so you can
I'm sorry.
describe what you're doing.
I have to interrupt really quick, Aki. So Joshua Jericho in the chat just said, but I punched a guy and I liked it.
A fist of cherry chapstick.
It's really funny. All right.
Wow.
My apologies.
Wow.
Continue.
Okay. But anyways, so you get, depending on how you describe your actions, 1, 2, or 3 extra dice for stunt. Depending on how your DM works. So 1 stunt die might be a little bit bigger than I punched the guy. 2 would be adding to the scene, so I kick off the wall and dust flutters around my leg as I kick down
Punch
into the
a guy.
Things like that. And then 3 stunt dice is you go you
Feeds
wrap
trachea,
your fingers
friend.
you wrap your fingers around the guy's trachea, pull it out, look him dead in the eyes as he's very slowly asphyxiating, and go, don't worry, I'll make sure your father meets you in hell too. And then you put his trachea back, and that's 2 3-die stunts.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
So
Yeah, the stunt system is very cool. I agree. Exalted as a whole, I really like. I'm a big sucker for like high cosmic, high fantasy, like really super powerful things. Like I like some of the more well-written Superman comics, for example, specifically the ones where it's not like something he can punch. So,
sorry. And another thing for the stunt system, you can stunt anything you can roll.
Yeah.
Anything. Soak rolls.
Stunting writing a letter, for example.
Like, yeah, you can stunt writing a letter.
I stand on a rock and write a letter.
But like you guys get what I mean. But it's such a cool like addition that I, like I said, like when I do DM, like I add it to my own systems because I like rewarding players for that.
Nice.
Okay. Very cool. Thanks, guys.
May I add something as someone that has no experience with this game system whatsoever?
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally, the week leading up to this whole game starting, I got a message from Jordan being like, "Hey, so you wanna join this game?"
God.
And I'm like, "Yes, I have the best character idea." He's like, "All right, can it work with the Dawn cast? What is that? Warrior? Fuck yeah, Warrior Himbo."
Yeah, it worked out really well. So the start of this campaign was pretty cursed. I actually cycled through like probably most of the people that I could think of to play in it because I kept early on when the game started, I kept losing players because various reasons, mostly real life stuff. This was back at the height of the pandemic, I believe, and so that was a time. So, you know, big shout out to Witch and Sam for bailing me out last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys did a very good job.
It was really fun.
I already shouted out Sam for literally knowing the plot of this game and being like, "No, I don't," the whole time without metagaming. That was pretty impressive.
What are you talking about?
My trick was just focusing on all of the other stuff that I knew was a really fun thing to do. You've been put in a sandbox, and the storyteller won't tell you no, except in very specific circumstances, which is my input into Exalted as a game. It's as somebody who has run Exalted for a long time, actually run Exalted, but almost never played in it. The last time I played in an Exalted game was when you ran an Exalted game last, Jorb. The last time I played in one, but having run it for years and years, 7 years now. One of my favorite things about Exalted is it's a story in which you almost never tell your players no. You just say yes, but.
Yeah. I have some statements on that, but let's talk about something else. So early on in the campaign, we're gonna start by we're breaking this up into the acts. So I'm gonna ask some questions kind of repeatedly for the various acts, and the first one I'm gonna ask is the campaign was kind of just getting on its feet, what were you guys thinking about? Like, what were your impressions about the kind of game it was and where it was headed?
No idea.
I was.
Which coming in hot with the honesty, I don't fucking know. I'm playing a himbo.
I walked into an oddly empty cafe with these 3 other guys.
We're gonna talk
And
about
then
that later too.
Yeah.
With these 3 other guys and my future wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. The classic way to meet your spouse in an empty cafe. Unlike the traditional bus ride, anyway.
It seemed a little weird that she was already with like 3 other guys, so.
I mean, at least you know she's down. Scald says he was mostly just looking to make a name for the character. So, didn't exactly have an impression of where the what you call it, the campaign was going to go, but just more wanted to play in the sandbox. That's what I think Scald means here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Scald. I'm trying to interpret from, chat. Nope, I got it. Yeah. Anyone have any solid impressions, or was that too long ago?
Honestly, it was a while back, and my memory ain't the best.
I don't even know who half of you people are, so I fully understand.
Yep. Who even are you? Who even
Where
are
am
I?
Alright, fair enough. Well, we'll move on then.
Alright.
How do you guys find your footing in playing your characters? So, obviously, you make your character sheet, you have an idea of what your background was. What was the, thing that kind of put you in the headspace of playing your character?
So I was kind of flip-flopping a little bit on Mercy's character when I was starting. And I kind of knew where I wanted her to go. But the thing that really solidified it at first for me was the absolutely disastrous interview with Paul. And just trying to think about how she would react to it in the aftermath. And that's what really solidified her character for me, personally. Mm-hmm.
That's something I did. Yeah, Paul was kind of an interesting character. So the backstory for him is basically the Darkness, capital D,
Darkness!
wanted to take you guys down because it thought at the time that you guys were princesses. Because that's what it had experienced before. It was before the Darkness and Soros Made Infinite had met, so it was using tactics that it knew were effective. And the Darkness mostly likes to take a hands-off approach as much as possible. So it killed the reporter that you had an interview with, his wife, by making the ex-girlfriend of a drunk driver horny. And it Rube Goldberg machined her death, which led to him doing the takedown interview instead of a more traditional interview.
And then led to his unusual bath bomb incident.
That was the Darkness literally just ramping up his guilt and depression. It can affect emotion pretty easily, specifically darker emotions. So basically, this girl was feeling lonely, so she texted her ex, who checked his phone while he was drunk driving and T-boned the reporter's wife. She died on impact, and so did the driver, which is loose ends all tied up. And then the reporter gets the news, goes and sees his wife, and immediately following that goes and does the interview, does his takedown piece to try and reestablish some sense in his world. And then, having successfully done so, goes home and goes, you know what, I don't want to live in a world without my wife, and that's it. And then you guys stalked him.
Technically, only 2 of us stalked him.
But to give you an idea of how early I was introducing concepts like the Darkness or Eightfold Paths Joined, it was literally in the first few sessions.
Right, and I mean, that's really thematically effective because in the context of Princess, that would have absolutely fucking destroyed a princess with, guilt and worry about having, Yeah, exactly. The Darkness has been doing this for a long time. That was very thematically, in retrospect, it was incredibly good foreshadowing.
In retrospect, of course. Okay, anyway, how did you find your footing, everyone else?
You basically you told me for a few months what they were doing. I'm like, that sounds neat. And you're like, do you want to play a princess? I'm like, what's she like? And you told me, and then I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Actually, big props. So, wife is a fairly experienced role player. And I basically handed her a half-complete NPC, and I'm like, do you want to play this character? And wife was like, yup, and then sat down and fully brought her to life. It was crazy.
Nice.
I don't think there was a moment where you were trying to find your footing. It just looked like you knew what the character was and ran with it.
Yeah, like there were times where it was kind of hard to place the age for her because we wanted her to be a little bit older so that the themes weren't so drastic for her. But there were definitely times where I felt more like 13, 14 instead of 17 for her.
Well, she is a pretty innocent character, right? That's kind of
Yeah,
one of the
but like
main
she was.
things.
The one thing that I wanted a bit differently was that she was supposed to be a bit more like outspoken and very confident in her like perseverance and everything. So she had some of that, but I didn't get to exercise it as much in like a debate kind of way, which was what we kind of built her up around. But I liked leaning into the innocence of the character for sure.
I mean, it worked. For sure.
Yeah. It was a weird age to try to portray, whereas kind of like it bounced between a lot. But hey, emotions, hormones, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Anyone else wanna comment?
Sure.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Basically with Ben, what I want. Oh no, never mind. That was someone else. I wanted Ben to start out appearing like a stereotypical himbo, like Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. But I wanted him to be able to have at least enough intelligence and empathy to be able to build from that based on his a less
Like the
dickish
anti-Gaston.
The anti-Gaston.
Yeah.
He's like super nice.
Dark Gaston is like, respect women.
Respect women. When I beat my wife, she beats me back.
Oh my god.
But yeah, initially I had the bare bones of the stereotypical himbo character with potential to grow and put him into the situation with other individuals to see what happened. And from there, it just kind of grew.
Great.
Ended up in a very weird relationship.
I mean, it seems pretty straightforward to me. Everyone wants the Zenith.
Yep.
Scald says, playing a rich investigative journalist was my way of trying to learn more of a world and system I knew nothing about. I also wanted to know what being truly rich would be like. The first part makes a ton of sense. The second part, I don't fucking know what that's like, buddy. I live in a one-bedroom apartment, and I have for a very long time because moving would increase my rent. We can both pretend, but it's masturbatory at best. Oh, God.
Come on, man. Sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah. Every
makes you
poor
feel
person
something.
has that what would I do if I were rich fantasy. Oh, God.
I think Sukran might be able to speak.
Let's check. Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, baby.
Hey, BB, you want some fuck?
Hey Hobbs, since I know you're gonna review all of the things, can you just thanks?
God damn it. Hobbs actually doesn't look at these streams.
Oh, I thought I heard him.
I did say hello.
Oh, hey,
Hello.
buddy. Hey, can you talk a little bit? You might be a little quiet.
Yeah, I can definitely talk a little bit. I know that Sam did speak up previously though on what
Yeah.
was getting him into character, so I will hold off for him.
Yeah, okay, great. Go for it, man. Shoot.
Thank you. All right. So I think the way that I got into character was I conceptualized somebody who's like always thinking, because my prompt was you're the Twilight, and I wanted to build on that, and I was like, okay, I really want to build around the concept of the cast, and that is understand everything. So it was somebody who never who never stopped trying to understand. Everything else kind of flowed from there, and understanding something is the first step to wanting to make a positive change in it.
Mhm.
So it was always a character who was like, not just thinking about what's going on, but how can I improve this? And I think that came through in the way that I ended up playing the character.
I mean, I was literally getting blue booking from you in the middle of, like, in between the two sessions where you showed up in Italy and had the last climactic battle. That was like, okay, I'm gonna try and reach out to the church and fix that a little bit. And, like, I'm also gonna, like, bruh. You were definitely the one who was trying the hardest to fix the problems that you saw. I think everyone else kind of read the writing on the wall, but even if you did, you were not letting that stop you. Like,
That was my means of not. That was one of my means of not metagaming it. It's like I know where this ends, but I want to get there in the way that fits my character the best.
yeah, no, I just props. You know, you're out here being like, well, we gotta fix the church, I guess. So I'll do that just before, you know, fixing the world. All right, did I miss anyone? Oh yeah, Sukram, buddy, pal.
I didn't really have any dedicated method. I didn't know what I was walking into system-wise, so it was just a large learning experience for me, and I kind of just let the roleplay guide where my character went.
All right.
In the end, yeah.
Now, I'll note that Elijah specifically actually had a pretty major shift halfway through the game, where you went from being, I can't remember what your old name was, but to Elijah, basically.
Yeah.
Was there a specific prompt for that, or was that always the plan?
That was always the plan leading in. The idea behind the character was that he had lost a portion of his memories and would regain them partway through the campaign.
Okay. Ooh, question from the Pattern Spiders. Did we ever completely stump you as a DM? Ooh, yeah, a lot. It's Exalted. Like, I can't think of any specific moments off the top of my head right now, but with Exalted, I basically early in the campaign, I got to the point where instead of introducing problems and solutions to those problems, I just introduced problems and then assumed you guys would fix it. And then anytime you didn't, I made consequences. So, like, pretty much immediately, I found myself kind of fighting you guys on stuff. Not trying to be like, no, you can't do that, but just like, I'd say something and you'd be like, oh, I have this charm that completely obviates that problem you just put in my path. So, yeah, Scald, I would say you did completely stump me as a DM a couple times.
If I can say one time that I know 100% without question that we did. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, Jordan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this airship is this aircraft carrier is a ship, right?
Oh my god, I was internally panicking. You guys were about to take over the largest human repository of lore in the fucking world. Like, not only is it an actual active aircraft carrier, but Aki was about to claim the headquarters for the Valkyrie Project, which is one of the biggest hunter conspiracies on the planet.
And I was like, ha-ha.
I had a fucking heart attack.
I was like, haha, this is mine.
And then I think you noticed that I was freaking out because you backed off.
Oh, no, I didn't. So here's the thing. I did not back off because I noticed that you were floundering. Not at all. I would have kept going. The thing is, just before that, Autocathon had turned around one of Elijah's deals.
Yeah.
Like this. Like, I snapped. I don't know if it came across the
It did not.
mic. But
Here, I got you.
like, simple. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to use anything, any charms, while Autocathon is around. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that character was incredibly useful for me.
Man.
Hello, Lovato. Welcome to the couch. Yeah, Yeah, there were a few times you guys definitely stumped me.
Can I special mention to a time when I feel like we didn't stump you and it was great?
Sure.
I was like, you had a big bad, you had the dethroned, and I went, I guess the session, like the just before the session in the blue booking, I was like, here's this charm, I'm gonna soul dive it. And to me, you had a very successful, I don't know if you were pulling it out of your ass, but it didn't feel like it. You had a very successful way of dealing with that and like playing to that.
So I did pull that out of my ass.
Okay.
I had the character's backstory, like when you're making a dethroned, how they got to that point is pretty important. So
Yes.
the visions you were seeing were things that I was making up related to the backstory I had already written. But no, you going into the soul of a dethroned was never the fucking plan for me. I expected... Okay, so in my notes, I actually expected you guys to kill her. Straight up.
One of us tried.
Yeah. That it's for the
She was
record.
on fire for a
Yeah.
little bit.
I wrote a way for you guys to kill the dethroned and still get the good ending. You did something I was not prepared for. That was all improv.
That was the fact that you described the dethroned as a child,
She was.
and Ben's literal thing, his limit trigger is child abuse, the harming of children.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, Crown, if Elijah actually managed to hit the actual body of that child, or even killed it, Ben would have turned around and punched him in the face.
And that's why I didn't bind you to a deal.
Yep. Elijah and Ben's relationship is a weird one.
It is,
A
yeah.
little strange.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, unfortunately, Sam, that wasn't a time where you guys didn't stump me. You did stump me there. I was just very used to it. Okay, what's an early game experience that stuck out to you guys? I guess, is there an early game experience that stuck out to you guys?
If I may,
Yeah?
the goddamn Tulpa
That was
You
mid-game.
whore.
That's Act 2.
No.
That's Act 2.
It
Ignore that.
stuck out to me.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
That's Act
No.
2. We'll discuss
I
that
don't
later.
care.
Shush. Shush.
No,
Shush.
we're not talking about it later. All right,
Okay,
fine.
which
I have a
tell you
question.
what, if the dog ever existed, then we'll talk about it later. But if it didn't, you're safe. What's your question, Witch?
The okay. I didn't think making Ben so attractive would get him so much attention, but
Ooh.
that Chinese lady.
Yeah, she's a Kuei
That-
Jin.
Hmm?
She's
Sorry?
a Chinese vampire. She was sizing you up to see if you could be corrupted.
Damn, I knew something was up
I
with how
totally
forward
forgot
she
about
was.
her. Because she figured out pretty quick that it wouldn't work, and she knew you guys could leak sunlight, which would literally make her rot away on the spot, so she fucking
Yeah.
bailed. I totally
Well,
forgot about
fine,
her.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, when she said this whole Lotus thing, he'd already had a thing with Mercy, so he's like, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, let me pull up her character notes here, because, yeah, that's actually a really funny thing to point out.
He was distracted by the tiger letter.
I mean, that was... Yeah, I suppose. Okay, yeah, that was Eternally Blossoming Dragon. She's a Cathayan crime lord. Her interests are in consolidating her power in order to keep herself from going back to hell, and she is doing absolutely nothing to repair her karma. She was not a good character.
Honestly, Ben looked at her and went, probably a Chinese spy.
No, she was not. She predated the current Chinese government. And
Yeah.
she was a very dangerous character unless you were a fucking solar exalt.
Sure.
Cool, good. Anyone else have anything they want to bring up? Oh, fun fact, Act 1 is where Nora was introduced.
That's before I was paying attention.
Yeah, but if you guys recall, at the gala, there was that group of young leaders, and I was like making names up and just throwing them out.
Yep. Remember?
I wasn't, though. Nora was there very specifically.
Makes sense.
It's as a storyteller, you always try and write a plot that like hints at what's going on but doesn't reveal too much. And I actually think I did that pretty well this time. So it's nice that I like can point to all these things and be like, look, this was in the plot, this was in the plot, this was here, you guys missed this. Because like it means I did my job well, right? As long as you guys had fun anyway. If you didn't, then please don't tell me. I will be sad. Hang on a second. Lufana says, Jorb runs a very particular plot line that can only go so many ways and few ways to go wrong. Party, we will fuck up this campaign. Runs a less structured campaign with a number of possibilities in preparation for the party shit. Party still manages to do things I didn't anticipate. Yeah, there is a lot of that. Okay. Does anyone else have anything early game they want to mention? Woof.
I don't know. I think the first part was more us just like getting used to the characters and the characters getting used to each other. Because you have to admit it was kind of weird for them like meeting day one and then all of a sudden they're roommates.
Yeah, weird isn't the word I would use so much as planned. Do you know the first character, the first NPC I introduced in this game was?
The cafe barista guy?
Eightfold Paths Joined was the first he was literally in your backstory. Do you guys remember the very first session? I was like, you all like see news reports or like see someone reading a newspaper article over your shoulder, or someone on a plane like shows you a video of Mercy exalting. Every one of those people was Eightfold Paths Joined in disguise.
Question, actually, related then.
Okay.
Was Eightfold Paths in Mercy's exaltation?
No. So he was not involved in Mercy's exaltation because he didn't expect it to happen. Eightfold had no idea that Autocathon had solar exaltations on board. And then Autocathon's just like, neat, let's see what happens if I release these into the world. So once Mercy exalted, he immediately started looking for the rest of the circle because he assumed it would be a solar circle, and he was right. But no, he was not actually in Mercy's backstory.
Wait.
Okay.
So does that mean he was at that absolute massacre of a failed bank heist that Ben was,
I mean, he was outside. He probably could have stopped it, actually.
Probably. That's
Anyway,
okay.
He's not
Ben
very good at
stopped
combat. So, yeah.
Ben
Which is to
stopped
say that he
it with his
trivializes
body.
mortals, but he might actually get injured.
Well, yeah, sidereals are not as strong as solars. They're still very powerful, but not that powerful.
Yeah.
As solars. And specifically, Eightfold was actually a fairly rookie sidereal. His main things were that he had Duck Fate, and that he was wicked good at disguising himself. And that's pretty much all he had going for him.
Yes. Mr. Stalker.
Yep. Okay, is there anything early game that happened that you guys wish you'd done differently or wish you'd explored differently?
I think actually when our characters started to get worshippers, I actually really wish I had gone into that a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out bad.
Yeah. Probably really should have paid attention to that church a bit more. Ben wanted nothing to do with it because
Joe also wanted nothing to do with it.
Well, Ben is super handsome. He can be charismatic when he wants to, but he's not used to socializing. Kind of a hermit.
I'm
Does
just
nothing
imagining.
but
Go ahead. Sorry.
does nothing but kung fu.
I'm just imagining, like, if we went back in time with the knowledge that we do now, like Ben just like sits there and is just like flexes. Please stop following demons. Continues flexing.
Changes poses.
Yeah, just
Ben's
changes
just like,
poses.
oh,
just like,
please, stop obeying. Ugh, the word of evil.
yeah, exactly. Like that. That's perfect. Yeah.
Scald says, expand the business and run for office. Yeah, I was fully expecting you guys to run for office, actually. It would have been a very easy sweep.
On what platform?
We're
Dispo
gods.
mine?
I mean,
Hey, we're
you're
superheroes.
literally paragons of goodness. Every player. Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot.
Vote for me because yes.
Vote for me. The sun said so. Like, and
My
you can
character
back it
very
up.
Specifically, yeah, these are the two things my character very specifically did not have as like the things that he wanted to interact with. He just not. It's nothing to do with religion and nothing to do with politics. And he just wants to understand the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, that could work. But you know what gets shit done? Religion
Lots
and
of
politics.
people working in concert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, don't worry, that was part of my not metaing it too. Like, I know that bureaucracy is this is a joke amongst exalted storytellers at the very least, is that bureaucracy is the most powerful stat
It is, straight up. It's broken as fuck.
in exalted.
And Scald also says respec into war.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it came
feel
up
that.
a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright.
yeah.
Hey,
What was
when-
it? The charms that had the most usage. Oh, sorry.
Any,
I would say the charms that had the most usage throughout. Oh, sorry.
I think you have an audio
ahead.
delay, but I'm gonna shut up now.
I
You
do. Okay. The charms that saw the most use, I would say, would be lightning speed and speed the wheels. There's a reason for that. Athletics and bureaucracy, being incredible tools in a Solar's arsenal, are part of a reason why I think we us not specking into it was like this played differently because of it. Was that a bad thing? Maybe not.
I mean, it was a fun story, regardless.
Like for game experience, it was really fun.
Scald says speed the wheels was baller. I wish I'd done more with it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's a open secret in storyteller circles for Exalted is that some charms are ridiculously powerful because no one takes them. Some of those charms are bureaucracy, sail, and is there more? Oh, throne is also weirdly powerful for a combat stat. Because no one takes them. So fucking the first part of sail is any boat you stand on is spiritually yours, which is just bonkers. That means you can jump onto someone else's ship and claim it.
Or plane, apparently.
Yeah, anything that uses the sail stat. Anything.
What is a plane but a skyboat that I may or may not have access to?
God damn it. Yes, Lavana, it does include a skyboat. Okay.
My
I still
character
love
is
that. Sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say how I loved when that whole Mercy is like, I can fly the plane, and Ben's like, are you sure about that? She just looks at him, goes, just remember, till death do we part, right?
That was pretty good, yeah.
Oh God.
I've been running
I've been running a campaign for some years now where the party has access to a rebuilt first stage Magitech plane, basically. It's called the Scintillating Skimmer of Clouds, and it runs on air aspected and water aspected essence drawn from clouds. And that alone has caused their power level and the effect that they have on the world to go up massively, because it's basically a private jet.
Yeah, especially in creation, that's a really big deal. Travel times are a bitch in a place without planes.
Yep.
All right. How about who is your favorite early game NPC? I would like to remind you, Nora Applewood was early game. So there is a right answer here, and then there are other answers.
So everybody's answer is Nora Applewood. So the question becomes, which non-Nora Applewood NPC was our favorite?
Autopathon.
He was not early
Ben?
game. Not even close.
Ceaseless.
Yes.
Ceaseless was the end of Act 1. I'll grant you that.
Because just
Yeah, he was the one to...
Yeah, Ben opening the door to, like, the big gold statue, just, hello. Ben closes the door. Hey, so there's a guy outside. Yeah.
Okay. Skald
Ben
says the
was
Egyptian
not
guy.
used-
Sorry, go ahead, Witch.
Ben just wasn't used to seeing someone taller than him, because he's like 6'6". Ben is at the higher end of the human height scale, and he opens the door to this big golden man that's towering over him, and he's like, I don't know how to process this. I'm gonna just close the door.
Hey, did we order weirdly specific room service? Alright. Skald says the Egyptian guy at the tomb, the one who started worshipping Mercy. That guy is dead, by the way. I know you guys never followed up on him, but like he was absolutely
he was
murdered.
poisoned.
Like very quickly, because he was a true believer. So Dagon had to have him removed. Yeah, he.
Oof.
Yep.
Probably shouldn't have started that church, man.
Well, he thought he was doing the right thing.
I literally.
I think
not
if
to
we'd been a
start.
little more hands-on, it would have been the right thing.
It would have, yeah.
Yeah.
What were you
It's
saying there,
too bad they.
Mr. Crown?
Yeah, go ahead.
I told him not to start it.
You did, yeah. One of the literal gods said, "Hey, don't make a religion out of this, okay? Wink, wink." Lavana
Wink, nudge,
keeps saying
nudge.
the living embodiment of the color beige, and I don't know what that means.
I feel like she's describing me, but I'm more of a cream.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like what you're all about. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Mr. Baker, who was that? Is that a
Oh, that
character
was
I had?
the guy who never existed.
Oh.
Or his son, Mr. Baker, who
No,
hired
no,
us.
yeah. We're not
to-
talking about that guy.
Fucking
We're not
no.
talking. We're not talking about that guy. Don't worry. We'll do that in Act
No.
2. Anyway, we're gonna move right along before Witch has a mental breakdown.
Too late.
Okay, early game. Did you guys have any bones to pick with me from early on? So this question's gonna recur, but basically, is there anything that you guys were like, why the fuck was it this way, or like, why did this happen, or why didn't something happen? Any bones that you want to bring up?
Kind of. I feel like the Sally plot hook, we never got a chance to talk to them or interact with them again, and it could have been that we didn't reach out, but like it's felt like that was important, and then we didn't see hide nor hair of that plot line until later, and it was still with other demons and not them.
Yeah, so the Sally plotline was not really its own self-contained thing. This is also probably mid-game, but
Oh, sorry.
it was not really it's okay. I'm just going to ask this question again in a bit. But it was not really a self-contained plotline. It was more I was trying to introduce different demonic factions and demons as a concept to you guys. So it would not have been possible for you guys to find Lucifer at that church because Lucifer had been there a long time ago. And that's kind of a recurring thing with the Luciferians, is they are way stuck in the past. They can't look forward because they're waiting for their general to help them siege the gates of heaven again, which is something that is never going to happen. It barely happened before, but they're so lost in the propaganda that they can't get out of that. So them telling you to investigate a church that Lucifer had been in like weeks before, despite the fact that there were far more signs of him being in Los Angeles, that was kind of, it's not specifically a hint, but it was a nod to the fact that they're kind of always perpetually out of date.
Neat.
Yeah. So that one, the Sally quest, if you want to call it that, you guys did complete. It wasn't ever really designed for you to return and like be heralded as the king of the demons, you know. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyone else want to take a swing? No? That's a good sign, right? That's probably good. Scald
Besides,
asks...
my thing was more of a curiosity and not a bone to pick.
Fair enough. I use combative language a lot because that's who I am as a person, but you don't have to be combative. It's just me. Scald says, were there any major plot hooks that we completely missed? Yeah, like a lot of them. The entire church plot line, for one, I really thought that was going to be a big deal. I had all this stuff planned. What else? You guys had an earlier interaction with the darkness than you actually dealt with, but you missed it. It was in Egypt. Where is he? There was a guy, the guy who was the infected by darkness. He was actually possessed by a specter. So he was supposed to be the hook that hinted to you guys there was more going on in this world than it appeared. But you guys just ignored him. You're just like, I don't care. What's up with this Nadia chick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk the way I want you fucking deal with. Or don't. It's okay, I understand. But if you don't like my being reasonable about it, fight me. I'm getting called out in chat. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about Act 2 then, I guess. How'd you guys deal with the okay, so Act 2 began when you figured out that you weren't on Earth, you were on the world of darkness. So that's when Cecil's Perfection of Industry showed up. That's when Nadia showed you that magic existed. All of those things happening at once were basically you're like suddenly crashing into the world of darkness. So from then to the point when my darling, beautiful wife took control of Nora Applewood was Act 2. All of that. And Act 1's focus was on introducing the characters in the world, letting you guys affect things kind of on a more surface level. Act 2 was all about dealing with the absolute fucking nightmare that is the world of darkness and letting you guys interact with that section of the world. In Act 2, I consciously backed off from a lot of the real world issues because I wanted you guys to focus on World of Darkness. So that's Act 2. First question, how was that reveal episode for you guys, that you found out you were, in fact, not on Earthy Boy?
I had a lot of fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. It
Yeah.
like it was a good reveal. Like being dropped on a boat in the middle of the ocean. Like very good.
Guns.
Surrounded by guns.
Yep.
Yeah, Autochthon's like, I think you need to go here. I'm not basing that on anything.
I got to have Mercy fighting in a very fancy ball gown.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
just like peak.
Peak exalted.
I'm very gay for all women, and I'm just gonna shut up.
And you liked
That
it.
makes
I
sense.
get it. That's good. Yes, Skull, that was the gala. That's right. The gala was like the denouement to Act 1 and the start of Act 2.
I remember.
Joshua Jericho's like, hell yeah, I liked it. Fight me. Which, Aki, I think you found a kindred spirit.
Hey.
Yeah, I know I plot blocked James. So Scald planned to have James, the character he was playing, kiss Abigail, NPC, at that gala. And I was like, nope, magic is real, giant robots are here, and they have questions for you. Aki's my hero too, Jericho. Alright, yeah, so anything you want to mention about the Act 2 reveal, aside from Scald wanting to punch me through the computer because I plot blocked him?
Going a bit
This
further
was-
into Act 2 reveal, the goddamn phone from Autochthon. I hate that phone. That phone was the bane of our existence
It
for
was,
the
yeah.
entirety of Act 2.
Yeah.
And it made me a dad.
It did, yeah.
Yep. Congratulations. It's annoying.
Autochthon was one of my. It is forever going to be one of my favorite characters to play. He's just like he's very funny in that he's a like mad scientist type and like super interested in weird stuff, but occasionally I get to remind you guys that he's one, very much not human, and two, literally more powerful than any god conceptualized on Earth. Like he's not a small deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
He,
I'd like
he
to point
gave
something
Ben
out.
a headache.
Yeah, he did, absolutely. There's been something that I have been sitting on
Okay.
since you introduced Autochthon.
Okay.
Since introducing him in game and giving him his voice, every time you have said fascinating outside of the game, you have said it in Autochthon's voice.
Oh, weird.
Like a little bit. Every single time. Like at work, you're just like fascinating. And I'm just like, I just get this
Internal
fight or
screaming.
flight instinct.
Have a
But it's
trigger now.
But yeah, every single time you say fascinating now, you say it fascinating.
Okay, so I think I mentioned this to the players during the campaign, but for Autochthon's character notes, I have them at the top of the list in under allies, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
But it's Autochthon, and I usually put like a sentence or two of like acting hints for myself. But for Autochthon, prompted by nothing, I put, I am Autochthon and I've arrived in your reality, which is probably nothing, right?
I
Yeah.
am Autochthon. I am now your problem.
It's the same kind of thing as Inception, you getting sick at the end of the Inscription,
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot like Inscription, yeah.
where
that
it was
was
at the end that you got sick and then people were literally concerned.
Yeah, because I didn't stream the next. I didn't show up the next day to work.
Yeah,
everyone
and I
thought-
was there, and fucking Blackthorn exits the elevator, looks at me and goes, "Oh no, Inscription got him."
It was so funny because apparently
The
I
meta.
talked to Blackthorn about it later, and after I played this incredible game, by the way, Inscription is awesome, and everyone should play it. But after playing this, I felt sick at the end of the last stream, and I got really ill that night. Like I got serious stomach problems, I was not having a good time, so I didn't come into work. But Blackthorn comes off the elevator at work and apparently turns to go say, "Oh, good, inscription didn't get you," and I fucking wasn't
I was
there.
there. And I was there because I took your shift.
Yeah. Oh god, good times. Anyway,
I really like that Autochthon is a meta being. Like, this is a creature specifically outside of the bounds of the game universe.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he literally traveled to the world of darkness from creation.
If you felt like Autochthon was fighting you, congratulations, you're storyteller material.
I didn't feel like he was fighting me. I felt like he was using me.
There you go. That's even better.
Yeah, like I was a tool. Which, you know, yes.
You're, what are you to this world? A god? Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
well
much.
Done. Well done. So I wanted to actually say that my thing about the reveal thing, and specifically the reveal of Autochthonia, is that as a storyteller, I was just like grinning the whole time that we're interacting with Autochthon. I'm like, you've captured this concept in such an evocative way.
Okay,
Well
I actually have to do a shout out. So my version of Autochthon is heavily influenced by a fan fiction. It's called Glorious Shotgun Princess. It is a Mass Effect Exalted crossover, and it is glorious. I recommend people read it.
Or you can just stay tuned to Aki Reads.
Oh, are you planning to read Glorious Shotgun Princess?
I mean, trying not to talk about it because we're on another channel, but yeah, if I don't get the third book in time, then yeah, Glorious Shotgun Princess.
Nice, I'm into that. That's awesome. Yeah, please do check out Aki's channel. Aki is awesome and deserves your attention. Okay, how about without talking about the Doggant, is there an Act 2 thing that stood out to you guys?
Does that slaughtering that vampire count? That old vampire that tried to juke us by hiding in his tomb?
Yeah, that was one of the last parts of Act 2. That encounter was specifically designed to give you guys a final hurrah before I dropped Act 3. So yeah, totally
Cool.
counts.
Ben liked that. When he found out that he could beat up a vampire, he's like, "Oh yeah!"
Yeah,
Always
easily.
wanted to beat up a monster.
And you did. You beat up a lot of them. Actually, you guys were supposed to encounter a lot more monsters, but because you were glowing so brightly, they literally turned to ash before you actually saw them. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
also that was the
remember.
conclusion to a player's storyline too. That was the pipeline.
That was.
Yep. That was the pipeline.
Hmm.
I remember James went like iconic and he put a colander on his head.
Yeah.
Made it look like a disco ball.
That it did not work explicitly, but everyone was
So-
imagining that it did.
If I may,
Yeah.
I also want to shout out Scald. Scald has been working on Mondays for the last like little bit, so he hasn't been able to be in our campaigns. But all of my blue booking with Scald was amazingly written, and he was just a pleasure to roleplay with. Like, and I am looking forward to doing so in the future. But I just bouncing ideas off of him and creating this pipeline, like, and doing the really cool scenes and stuff. Like we were action heroes in Exalted, and it was amazing. And I almost want to gather up all of our RP that we did in blue booking and just release it on the channel.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because some of the stuff that we did was just so well written. Like I'm so happy that it was. I'm gonna cry now. Fuck. I was trying not to.
That's
I am
okay.
45
That's
minutes.
okay, Aki.
It's just-
It's okay to cry. Keep it coming. Keep them tears coming.
I was just really happy to roleplay with this group of people, and I just I wanted to say thank you at the
Yeah,
end of everything.
yeah, it was a great game. I agree. The pattern spiders are coming to your defense, Aki. Just so you guys know, if you're new to the channel, there's a running meme that Aki crying on this channel is what gets us the most money. And it's a meme. This channel is not about making money at all. But
It's not about making money, it's about making me cry.
yeah, I'd rather Aki cry than get paid. Yeah, if I could somehow loop that income back into making you cry more. No, because the first time Aki cried on a stream, we got like a $35 donation. So ever since then.
Yeah, and then we made it, and then
No.
we made a joke. For the players that are not in the Twitch chat right now, Joshua Jericho says, "Oh gosh, I believe it. Aki tears cure male pattern baldness. I hear. So you're just really after less egg."
That's not at all factual. I'll have you know that Sir Patrick
It's too late
Stewart
for
would
him.
be disappointed in you. Being bald is not a problem. It's not something to be ashamed of. It is simply a state of being, and it is something worthy of respect.
Is that a hitch in your voice?
For Sir Patrick Stewart, you're goddamn right it is. That is the patron saint of bald men, and an actual good person. So yeah, it is.
Thank you for letting us know about that, Mr. Eggman.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome. That's true, John.
Oh.
All right, let's keep going here.
I was gonna mention something because I remember it as being part of this vampire thing that we did, but when we were trying to get into the catacombs, there was like this door with a beautiful mural with a hand sticking out. I remember Elijah reaching for the hand to try to figure out how to open the door, and Ben was like, "I have a boot," and just kicks the door down.
Yeah, it was meant to be like a puzzle lock, but you passed your strength check, so you just fuck the door open. A door that was specifically built to resist vampires with potence, by the way, so...
Built to resist vampires with potence, and Ben's like, "Lol, I'm the sun." Boot.
Ben's
dawn.
like, "I am inevitable." Keek.
That's how Ben
I'm
opens
the
most of
dog.
doors.
Mm-hmm. So Act 2, I felt was a lot more complicated than Act 1 or even Act 3, actually. Were there any moments that you found frustrating in Act 2?
Tulpa.
How dare you bring that up?
We're not talking
You're
about
right.
that yet.
But
We'll get there. It's its own special thing.
okay, how about narrowly missing the demon that ran the red school?
Yeah, he got away. He's still, like, in the world. Yeah, he saw you guys
The
coming
throne
and
got
bailed.
destroyed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, I do have to mention, just so you guys know, destroying the throne wasn't actually the thing that let him get away. He had access to the lore of paths, so he didn't quite teleport, but he got away using magic. There was nothing you guys had done wrong. I just let you believe it so that, because what else are you gonna think?
Because conflict.
Yeah.
PC versus PC. Let's see who punches first.
Exactly.
Thankfully, that never happened.
Yeah, I tried several times to do that to you guys, and it never panned out.
There's a reason
Elijah
I didn't
meant-
bind Ben to a deal is because it would have broken and ruined part
Yep.
of his campaign experience.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. Aki, please read the chat. Anyway, yeah, okay, you found that frustrating. Anything else stick out to you guys that you found frustrating? I'm gonna actually open this up to just the game as a whole, minus the tulpa. Nothing? Really?
Yeah, just the tulpa.
Okay, well,
if it's the game as a whole, I think I have one thing, which is that I wanted the darkness to be harder to beat.
You guys didn't beat it. Not even
Oh.
fucking close. Are you kidding me?
Banished it from that one battle.
Like, maybe a few kilometers.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, no, very much not defeated. You guys didn't even face some of its more useful pawns. It seriously underestimated you, and by the time it found out that how much of a threat you were, it was scrambling to catch up. You did not defeat the darkness.
Okay, that makes more sense. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Let's discuss in Act 3. But okay, so I guess we should bring this up now because we keep referencing it and I keep shutting down discussion. Doggint. So the Tulpa and the False Hydra. How did you guys feel about that? For those just joining us, we ran a few sessions where there was a dog creature thing that ate people's connection to other things. So it had killed a man in front of his family, and that man should not have ever
So,
appeared to them again.
From what I understand, if I may, Jordan, just to
Sure,
explain
yeah, go
this
for
in a
it.
way that's a bit more laypersony. The dog was actually a tool made by a Reaper-style demon that severed the connections between people, and when used properly was basically so you know how when people die eventually you stop thinking about them all the time, and it hurts less and everything. That is what those tools were used for those Reaper-style demons. But left to its own devices, it didn't know how to do that properly, so it was literally just, hi Cab. It was literally just like severing the connection straight
Connection.
off.
Any. So most of its victims were never found, not because they were hidden or anything. They just literally could not be found. You couldn't form the connection to the person to find them. So anyway, it had killed this guy, and for some reason, people remembered. This guy, for whatever reason, this guy was remembered as being attacked. It was ruled a murder, but it was never solved. It was believed the wife may have done it. There was all kinds of shit going on in a small town, and eventually, his son hired the Exalts to go and figure out what happened to his dad. And when they got there, after first sending an NPC who most of the world forgot about, Rip Samuel. They got there, and there was like a whole shitload of corpses in the house and a bunch of parked cars out front where their father had died, because it wasn't even close to the first person that the son had sent to figure out what had happened. The only reason that people remembered this guy's dad is because he didn't actually exist. So, this guy only exists insofar as people know he exists. He, has a record. He's got, government documents. He's had blood work done. He has a job. He was, described as, a perfectly normal guy. He had a family. He had kids because that's what people knew he had. His wife thought he worked a little much, and wishes that he'd spend more time at home, but had no major complaints. But this guy didn't actually exist. He was like a man-shaped impression on the mattress of reality. He wasn't actually there, but it sure looked like he was. So since the dog, a thing that severs and destroys connections, ate a guy who only existed in those connections, people could remember this one thing, and the dog took part of that into itself so it could be discovered, and it was terrified. Cat feels like a man-shaped impression on the mattress of reality. So you guys want to discuss the Tulpa and the dog?
No.
Okay, let's discuss it.
No.
So Scald says
No.
the "how does he fuck" argument was fun.
Seriously, the traditional tulpa system, not necessarily system, but the tulpas originated as a concept, a construct
Yep.
created by a being, a practitioner. Who the fuck made the man that did not exist that somehow got eaten and somehow had enough fucking semen to impregnate a woman
Well, he didn't.
with
though.
real kids?
He
Then
didn't,
how did she become pregnant?
because everyone knew that they were married and would have children. So they did.
Wouldn't that be considered a virgin birth, though?
Yeah, literally. Also, the reason that the dog killed the guy who didn't actually exist is because that guy existed insofar as everyone knew he existed. Everyone, including the dog.
But how would they know that he existed without first having an interaction with him?
Well, there's tons of evidence.
If I may.
Also, people talk to him in emails and stuff. There's
Yeah.
pictures of him. What do you mean? How do people know
Which-
that Aki
Which-
exists? Aki's just a voice.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen Aki.
All right. Well, how about
Here-
chat then?
Well, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a lot of them.
Okay. No, actually, Joshua Jericho, Aki is real. Aki is I believe, classified as a dump truck. Is that correct, Aki?
No, I have a Class 3 license to drive this dump truck of an ass around. Thank
I see.
you.
Okay, sorry. My apologies. He was the 20-year-old Tupperware at the back of the fridge of the mortal plane. That one didn't resolve the way I'd hoped. I did not originally design the dog to be a releasing tool, but you guys were so stuck on the details that I had to move it along. So I know you guys were talking about how would we have figured this stuff out, and the answer is you wouldn't have, which is why it worked out the way it did. I know that was a complaint you guys had, but we needed to move it along, basically. So I do want to admit publicly that you guys were right on that count. But you were so caught up in the how did he fuck, or how is the dog killing if no one can perceive it? The details caught you up more than the important parts, which were the guy died. This dog was presumably killing still, and you just did not deal with any of it. So I moved it along.
How are you supposed to investigate a murder of a man that doesn't exist?
There was tons of evidence. There was blood on the scene. There were police reports. There was witnesses to the event. You guys never even talked to the sister.
I think we were planning to, and then we got distracted by something.
You got distracted by the fact that he didn't exist. Yeah, anyway, that was super fun for me. For the record, that wasn't originally going to go in the campaign. I just had the idea, and I'm like, I need to put this in something. So, it was a good time. James didn't habeas corpus. Anything else you guys want to mention about the dog? Doggend, sorry. The tulpa?
I do have something.
Yeah.
I realized my microphone wasn't working. I wanted to give you an honorable mention for inventing Getimians.
What?
There's an exalt type that doesn't have
Yeah,
rules yet.
Get him in exile.
Gatimian exalts. They're basically people who never existed, and you independently came up with that, and I really like it. And that is the everybody remembers that something happened, but they don't have an explanation for it, and it's secretly a person who never existed. Is actually the way that I've been running Gatimians in my campaign, and it is very much the you come out of a situation and you don't know if a Gatimian was involved because you can't remember having seen them. But that's it's like an inverse, I suppose, of him.
Yeah, he only exists in that everyone knows he does. That was really fun.
Gatimians exist, but no one knows they do, and they forget or rationalize away everything that a Gatimian does. So I really like the concept and how you came up with that.
I mean, that's how the dog got by originally. Anyway, Scald says he's the only doggo who isn't a good boy. Correct. Let's move on from the doggant, I think. Yeah. I think you guys have had enough time to scream internally. I'm torturing you enough. Let's talk about Eightfold Past Join, Ceaseless Perfection of Industry, and Autocathon. So they really started to show up a lot in Act 2. Special shout out to the really inept security guard that showed up in 2 separate places on the same night that you guys just took in stride. That was Eightfold, just so you know.
Yeah.
He didn't even have time to change. Yeah, so Eightfold Past Joint, something I was doing with the players the pattern spiders the whole way through is anytime I introduced a character that was secretly eightfold in a disguise, I would mute to you guys and tell the pattern spiders this is Eightfold Past Joint. And it happened almost every session. He was straight up stalking you in a big way. Literally the first NPC I introduced, and he was one of the last NPCs that I revealed. That was fun.
Out of sheer curiosity, and because I know that with what happened with James's company, who was Eightfold at James's company?
In before Abigail.
No, he wasn't Abigail. He tried to avoid being anyone important, actually. I don't think he was named there. I don't know that I actually named any characters as Eightfold in James's company.
Okay. I was just really curious because it's just there was a personal assistant that James had hired that, now that I'm making that connection, was just was he Eightfold?
Wait. Maybe that was the one that seemed weirdly competent and informed, right?
Yeah, after...
Yeah, I believe that actually was Eightfold.
Okay.
God, he made a lot of appearances. So, Jericho, this security guard wasn't actually a security guard. He was a mystical space ninja from a different world who was specifically trying to help the players achieve some goals. And the way he was doing that was by dressing up as an incredibly inept security guard, letting them into 2 completely unrelated buildings and just assuming they were allowed to be there. Yeah. Joke's on you, Eightfold and James are engaged, said Scald. Oh, God.
The Fates theme itself.
Yeah, so Eightfold was around a lot. I actually expected to use Ceaseless Perfection of Industry a lot more than I did. I expected him to be more active on Earth, but I think I should have taken into account more that he's a Petropolis and cares only really about the city and Autochthonia as a whole. So he was intended to have more screen time and voice lines, but it is what it is. And then Autocathon is awesome. He was so much fun. I loved playing Autocathon specifically to use him for Deus Ex Machina that screwed you guys over. He'd do shit invent a new god. Fucking Elijah was trying to. Oh, goodbye, Cab. Have a good night. Elijah was trying to create AI, and Autocathon's like, oh yeah, I've done this before, and made a god. Like, or he'd show up at the most inopportune times and ruin diplomacy, or like just do the most off-the-wall nonsense garbage and just complicate your guys' lives. So it was like I had this like ability to simplify and like and correct some of the problems you guys were facing, and I explicitly did not do that.
Actually, really liked what you did with I Am, which did give us a tool to simplify some stuff that would have been less fun for the viewers and less fun for us to do minutiae of. We could actually just get I Am to do certain things. That was I think that was well designed.
I Am was really fun too, because working on the soul architecture of the internet made me think about a lot of stuff. Special shout out to Outrage, one of I Am's souls.
Yep.
That was just like I was straight up. Have you guys seen the like Reddit moderator neckbeard drawing? Like that is exactly who Outrage was. That was fun. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about with those three characters?
Ben was like, after that initial interaction where him and Joe had the dumb decision to look into that pool and saw like flashes of memories and stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, and Ben got the one about, destroying the world and shit.
Yeah, you actually saw a future, not a memory.
Yeah. Ben was shaken. Also, he was really suspicious of Autocathon and what he could potentially do to this world that he lived in.
Good.
And
You
he's
should
like,
be.
man, I really don't. Ben's like, I really don't want to have to fight a god, but if I have to.
So, the memory that you saw was actually like a desire of Void Tech, which is to cause Autocathon to go commit die and become the engine of extinction, a never-born thing, which would have been super bad for the world. Imagine Autocathon, but his only goal, his only desire is to kill all life on the planet. All of it. You guys saw at the end how casually Autocathon destroyed that jet that was coming, right?
Yep.
Okay, that was
Good.
nothing to Autocathon. Literally nothing.
Less than an ant.
Not even.
Yep.
It straight up did not factor into what he was thinking about. He did it as an aside to, like, he spun up a process to deal with problem, and then that process was like, okay, blow it up, and then that process ceased to exist. It was so pointless to him that he just put zero thought into it. Anyway, imagine that guy with all the powers Autocathon demonstrated throughout the campaign, but dialed up to 11 and specifically designed to execute the planet.
I missed a moment, but are we talking about the engine of extinction?
We are.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah, that's explicitly what happens if Autocathon dies in creation. It's not good.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Void Tech's goal here, was to cause Autocathon to become so morose that either Void Tech or Autocathon would kill Autocathon. And that's not off the table at all.
I've actually got a
Yeah.
question regarding that. Was Void Tech ever the main campaign goal?
No, not since day one. The campaign goal never changed. So the idea that I had originally was to run an Exalted game in the World of Darkness that was actually a princess game about giving the world hope. So princess is a metaphor for hope in a big way, It's specifically hope against impossible odds. And while some princesses had existed in the world, for a very long time, they haven't been able to reincarnate. So there's very few of them. So the world of darkness you went into was actually just a little worse than the world of darkness that is canon in Princess. Specifically, the moon landing never happened. That was the change I made to the world of darkness, which I almost spoiled somehow. But anyway,
Yep.
the goal of the campaign was always to give the world a little bit of hope by freeing the princesses and giving the side of light some breathing room to fight back. That was explicitly always how it was going to be. Or at least, that was always going to be the goal. Whether you guys accomplished it or not was up to roleplay, of course. Good question.
The themes were really really well put together and well executed, because I felt those themes. I felt hope as a theme, because Exalted also deals with hope.
Mm-hmm.
And it approaches it from a different direction, but it was very, very poignant.
Yeah. It was a good time. Speaking of themes, what themes or plots did you wish got more time? I dropped several plot lines because I just got to the point where I was too busy to deal with a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like it's it got bad for me. Which ones did you guys wish got more attention?
Dream Princess. Mirror one. That one.
Queen of Mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
spoopy.
Yeah, the queen of I believe she's the Queen of Pentacles. Or Wands? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Queen of Mirrors is kind of a terrifying force.
Yeah, I thought that could have been like a really kind of spooky sort of thing to touch on a bit more.
Yeah,
Obviously, like we had a line to follow, so, but that was kind of cool. I liked that.
Yeah, that's straight ripped from the Princess book. Queen of Mirrors she is like that.
Another one that I was hoping that we would, I mean, just in a general sense, delving into characters' backstories.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things in Mercy's backstory that I never even really got to introduce. Or that were introduced at the very beginning and then just never came up.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my shames, actually. I wish that I had spent more time on characters' backstories. Scald is also saying Elijah's personal story. And basically that was something I sacrificed in the name of, like, the campaign as a whole. But I did feel like I let you guys down there. Like, I'm not saying it's the end of the world or anything, but I totally agree. I wish we could have explored personal stories a lot more. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It happens.
Yeah. I will mention that I introduced a lot of the things that I introduced over the course of the campaign were never really meant to be resolved inside it. There were lots of things that were, obviously, the Tulpa for one. But a lot of what I was doing here was world building. So, like, talking about, like, Lucifer showing up at the very end being like, oh, by the way, your church is co-opted, and then, like, the next session is the last one. That was very much intentional. Setting up the all the Void Tech stuff. Like, you guys did interact with Void Tech quite a bit, actually. But specifically, I was designing it as a threat to kind of hang over the world. A consequence to the existence of the exalts is exalted level threats, and yes. I do want those to exist in the world that we created. So a lot of storylines didn't complete in a way you would expect because they kind of weren't meant to. Anyway, yeah, were there any others that you guys wanted to resolve aside from personal stories? I apologize, mea culpa.
Mea tulpa, you mean?
No, I'm not a tulpa.
Nor is yours the tulpa. Wait, was the tulpa yours?
I mean, I made it.
True.
Okay, I'm gonna pick on someone who hasn't had much time to talk in either the campaign or this stream. The end of Act 2 was the reveal that you were in a princess campaign. That was when Nora blossomed in front of you. When I hope it clicked that you weren't finding evidence of exaltations. You were finding evidence of blossomings. Hey dear.
Yo.
How was jumping in on a campaign that was halfway through? Sam, we're getting background audio from you, buddy. Anyway, how was jumping in a campaign that was halfway done and kind of really stirring shit up when you arrived?
My favorite part is definitely when they thought that she was exalted.
That was
And I'm
pretty
like,
great.
no. It definitely felt like there was a lot of catch up I had to do, so I didn't feel meta in a way that I knew what was going on a little bit from what you were telling me. At the same time, I had to act as much as I could as if I didn't know what was going on. But then it just seemed like there were a few lines that kind of got crisscrossed.
I think you did a good job.
I think I
Considering
did
what you were
okay.
given, I basically gave you like the Cliff's Notes of the character and you ran with it.
Yeah.
Um,
It was so much fun describing her her transforming the first time
blossoming,
from her
yeah.
pajamas. Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah, that was great for me too. My favorite part was how angry Aki got. Speaking of, how
It was like basically just playing like babysitter simulator.
kind of was. Opening the floor to everyone again. How did you guys feel about the princess twist? Aki just unmuted and remuted and unmuted. That's a bad sign.
Okay, I'm gonna let other people say their piece first because I've got some things.
Aki has some opinions. What do people think of the princess twist?
I didn't mind it.
No?
No, I have no issues with Princess. If anything, Princess seems like a great campaign system where nothing can go wrong.
It's... Okay, side note on Princess the Hopeful. It's a fan game line for World of Darkness, and it is straight up the most depressing game I've ever seen. It is insane how dark Princess is. In a game world where there's like Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Hunter the Reckoning, Demon the Fallen, a game called Princess the Hopeful doesn't exactly sound like it fits, but by God, it does it ever. It's brutal. My first Princess game ended with multiple deaths and a suicide by cop. It was rough.
On the topic, actually, of Princess, I had a question earlier on my walk of if we'd allowed Nora to come into the Demon Castle with us, like the Demon Fortress within the Red School, would she have blossomed there?
Potentially, but unlikely. So Nora needed to be confronted with something threatening where she could basically defend her kingdom. In whatever form that takes in Nora's mind. So going in there potentially could have ended up that way, but probably would have just led to the death of the character. And I 100% knew you guys weren't going to let a child go in there.
And I tried very hard. I tried.
I was more trying to show you guys in that moment that the type of person Nora was than actually trying to get her into that scene. It was yet another hint that this character was important.
I very much took it, like, because I was treating it as not meta, I was still taking that as, like, if I didn't know this one thing, I would guess that was like pointing at exaltation potential. I'm like,
Yep.
what kind of exalted haven't we done yet? So like, I was letting it be a thing that could surprise even me,
All right.
and I was looking for her being a lunar or something.
No, there's no exalts in the world of darkness. Actually,
That's correct.
there's princesses though. Okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to say on the princess twist, or do we want to let Aki fucking rant?
Go ahead, Aki.
Aki rant.
Okay, so welcome to Aki Rants.
For those of you who are Aki Reads fans, welcome to the After 8 channel.
So here's the thing. I played Princess before, and it ended extremely badly. I think all but one of our party members ended up dying.
Yeah.
And it was an extremely depressing game. And having Jordan say throughout the start of the Exalted campaign that like our job is to bring hope, to reforge the world of Brightest Door Calcum, and all that jazz, I fully admit the second that it was revealed to be Princess, I was fucking gutted. Because I was like, cool, we have done all of this work, and it's gonna all be for shit. And I was honestly pretty pissed. And then I talked to you about it afterwards, and you mentioned that, like, no, like, it's not, like, you guys are actually the ones that are bringing hope, and you guys are much stronger than princesses. Like, you're exalted. And you told me to trust you and keep playing.
That was a mistake.
I mean, I made that mistake like almost 17 years ago, so like, you know, in it for
Cool. So you're old and have bad judgment.
Yeah, I'm very stupid. But anyways, like this is Statler and Waldorf at this point, bud. But anyways. But you told me to keep playing and trust the process, and I did, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, it was nice to see us actually fixing the world of darkness, especially having played Princess and knowing Princess as well. So yeah, that's my rant.
Okay, that was less savage than I predicted. I thought you were going to actually murder me on stream.
We've only got 10 minutes, it's fine.
Okay. Let's
10 more minutes of life.
Let's I'm gonna move on to the next question then. What moment in Act 3 did you guys find the most shocking?
Finding something that could forge pacts like I did.
Demons.
The appearance of the princess, the Queen of Mirrors.
Oh, yeah, she can do it too. There's actually a few things in the World of Darkness that have that power.
Definitely, but I had no basis for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. I'm glad that small of a detail actually was a big deal to you. That's awesome. That you really understood your character. That's really cool.
For me, it was Lucy showing up in the plane.
Yeah, the devil just pops in. Hey, yo, what up? Hey, BB, you want some fuck?
Hey, BB!
You want some? You want some? You want to hear some?
Oh.
Sam, you are cutting out badly. Whatever audio you move to, it is not working.
Jeez.
Continue, Witch.
I don't know what to continue with. I will admit that post all of this shenanigans, Ben still remembers some of the names that good old Lucy mentioned, like the demon that headed the Red School, the guy that took over their church. He's probably gonna go to Elijah and be like, "Hey, you want to go do some demon hunting with me?"
Mhm.
Actually, better yet, hey Mercy, you want to do a demon hunting honeymoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, are you leaving Joe out of the taking the fight to the people who perverted a good thing?
Joe
Oh,
is
no,
squishy.
we're gonna bring Joe to there. Mercy and Ben are going to kill the demons, and Joe is going to rebuild.
We'll
Sounds
bring
great.
the whole
Best.
thing party.
Hell yeah.
Demon hunt.
Scald says, only comment on the princess twist. I felt bad for Wife for being a character that we had every reason to keep out of situations. And I kind of agree on that. I had, for some reason, just expected you guys to just, like, include Nora in everything moving forward, because Nora had the backing of was a player character, but you guys actually, unlike every other tabletop game I've ever played it fairly reasonably, where you're like, this is a kid. We should not take a kid into a combat situation. Whereas,
Yeah,
like...
so there's a lot of like, dang, I'm being like story cock blocked here, guys.
Yeah, Ben is like constantly like, Nora, no.
And I was like, Nora, yes.
And then Elijah's like, yeah, let's bring her into the battlefield.
My favorite moment for Nora was straight up getting into the Queen of Storm's influence, and I could hear Wife through my wall, like, just screaming and fucking yeah, like, it was brilliant.
It was like a kid high on candy.
It was awesome. I love that so much. All right, cool. Well, we're about at the end here. I have a bunch more questions that I'm not going to get into because we're out of time. Yeah, Aki, you want to shout out some people who stream? Could you include Cutscene Spot and Fightin' Ginger in that? Because they're friends of the channel as well.
I was just gonna do players.
I mean, if there's players who wanna plug their stuff, let's do that. Sure. So of course, Aki also streams. Aki reads us bedtime stories. It's great.
Actually, my schedule's changing, so we'll see.
Aki reads us stories.
Yeah.
Which is great. I stream every damn day because I like streaming a lot. It makes me feel good.
Ew.
Yeah, Aki reads us Smoot. That's right. Thank you, Aki, for shouting out.
I just wanted to make sure that people. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure people knew where to go.
Please drop by Not a Vampire, I Promise his channel. Drop him a follow. Guy looks real desperate. He looks like he could use the attention.
Pity him.
I have one last question to ask you guys. That's right, Desu. He does look like an egg and needs the support. The one last question I have, and unfortunately we're running out of time, so we're gonna need to be brief, but what's your character's epilogue? So after wrapping up the princess thing, princesses have begun reincarnating in the world. The fight is not over against the darkness, but things are, for the first time in living memory, looking up. What is your character's epilogue?
Jordan, do you just want to go down in the order of the...
Yeah, we'll go down in Discord order, so Aki, you can go first.
So Mercy and Ben get married.
Disgusting.
As posted it, or is blue booked. James is actually Mercy's best man.
Nice.
Because they were friends when they started the campaign. That was one of the things we wrote into our backstories.
Can Nora please be a flower girl?
Yes, that was literally what I was going to say next.
Yeah.
And then
Ben still
I
hasn't
guess
chosen a man of honor yet.
yeah.
It's
And then I
either
guess
Joe or
honeymoon
Elijah.
Yeah, and then honeymoon is
Guys.
Aki's trying to finish, guys.
And then demon hunting honeymoon, I guess. And then back to it.
Ben, I recommend you take Eternally Blossoming Dragon as your best man.
The fuck is that?
The Chinese lady.
The vampire.
The Cathayan vampire.
That?
Oh no.
He doesn't even remember
Okay,
her.
so
He
take
probably
this.
threw that card out a long time ago.
Either Autocathon as also a flower girl,
No, Autocathon's
Or-
not invited.
or as the efficient.
Oh, God.
No!
For the
No.
record, bold of you to assume Autocathon is not invited. You can not invite Autocathon, but that has never stopped him. Scald says, working to turn the world into a place where someone need not hunger or fear for their lives due to lack of money. That's awesome.
Aw.
Hey, Amiha,
You.
what's your epilogue?
Well, I believe she'd had to go home and explain a lot of stuff to her parents.
Yeah,
And how now
probably.
she's probably going to be leading a legion of small children princesses to fight the darkness that she let through a door.
Yeah, right now, after...
So she'd be training.
Yeah, all of those princesses you saw walking into the portal and disappearing are basically blossoming around the world right now.
Yes, so she would try to connect to as many as she could, I think.
Mhm.
However way some naive little girl can do that.
Well, I mean, you do know I am. Alright. Sam, what's up? What is Joaquin doing?
First of all, I very much like the Ben, Mercy, and Elijah go demon hunting.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that Joe is going to be rebuilding in the wake of that. Try and build, people are going to cling to faith. He's going to give them something good to cling to. He's going to really take that on because he'll realize that his fleeing from it was an act of cowardice.
Cool. I like that for you.
There's one other thing, which was in the blue booking the entire game, which was he wanted to build an education system that provided for everybody, that didn't prevent anybody from getting the education that they wanted based on economic, housing, any other such issue. And that weaves in really well with the returning of the princesses, because the thing was that he realized that with this darkness waging a war in the world, people aren't going to be safe unless he can get the right people to defend these places when the solar eggs aren't ready. So he's probably going to
Hire
build
child soldiers?
havens. Yeah, well, the thing is that he's going to build havens where he can protect the princesses while they grow, and where they can protect each other, because they're not going to be safe in this world without strength in numbers and the right people to help them.
Agreed.
And so it's going to be a place where literally these children who would otherwise be forced into a war are going to have some measure of...
Very cool. All right. Mr. Crown, what's Elijah up to?
He's probably going to continue doing what he started nearing the end of the campaign, which was getting in touch with the global superpowers to have the Exalts as acknowledged, essentially peacekeepers, to have free entrance and exit from countries to be able to try and help with any global issues.
All right. Awesome. Witch, what is Ben doing?
Apparently he's getting married, and
Right.
he's gonna go demon hunting for the honeymoon. After that, he's going to make sure to finalize adoption of those 2 kids, and he's going to do everything he can to be both a doting father and a badass monster hunter / protector.
All right. Very cool.
Yep.
Well, guys, I had a bunch more questions, but we're out of time. So, yeah, that's going to be it for Princess the Exalted Hopeful, or whatever you want to call this campaign. I never actually made a name
Exalto?
for it. I just called it Exalted. So, oh wait, didn't I make a name in the Roll20?
I never logged into the Roll20.
I believe it was capitalism slaying.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. Guys, that is gonna be it for us forever. The campaign is over.
Oh no.
We're done. Yeah. Thanks, guys. This was a great campaign. I'm broadly happy with how it turned out. There's
Thank you
details
so
that would have
much.
changed, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, thank you for the great story, man. Really enjoyed it.
I couldn't have done it without you guys, obviously. Oh, thanks.
Aw.
Everyone's being nice to me. Thank you, Scald. The game was apparently called Solar Streaming Stance Capitalism Slaying Method, which feels super out of touch with what the game was about.
Yeah.
It was one where we were dealing with real world issues, and
Yep.
it was World of Darkness.
That was phase 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was phase 1. So,
Okay,
yeah.
that was the story 1 title.
Oh, thank you for the gay bits, everyone. Yeah, I think it went well that everyone stuck it out for well over a year in the middle of the pandemic, no less. And we came out of it the other side where we had this session where we literally ran out of time before we were done talking about the campaign. It was an awesome thing. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Jericho. That's really cool. So everyone, I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be starting a new series on the channel, a little known indie game called Hollow Knight. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, but it's pretty cool. You play as a bug. Please go check out Aki Reeds and Shieldwald Scald, two very cool and fun friends of mine who also stream. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I love Potion Hollow Knight. I haven't looked at Potion Permit, but I really should. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the campaign. It was awesome. You guys were great. Thank you.
And a round of applause for Jorb.
Yay!
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah. All right, everyone. That's gonna be it for us for tonight. I will be back tomorrow evening, like I said. And yeah, good game, everyone. And I'll see you in the next one. Bibbles.
GG!
Bye.